Yo, what's going on, everyone? It is the second night of a back-to-back. I'm here representing Mission Accomplished, and I got a huge guest coming off the biggest weekend of her life, I think. All right, and I'm just going to go, you know what? Before I bring her on, because I don't want to have any other interruptions, I'm going to go ahead and shout out my sponsors real quick. I got Holding Hands Massage. Holding Hands Massage is a VA registered company. If you are a veteran, you go get a referral from your doctor. Go see Jackie. Get all your shit fixed: back, neck, knee, ankle, butt cheek, whatever. Pulled groin. She could work that out too, I guess. And if you are not a veteran, you just go to massagetherapix.com. All that stuff's at the bottom right there. You go to there, check out Holding Hands Massage Therapix. She is the best. My other sponsor is the one and only Killfoot Clothing, that is the creator of the hottest shirt in the streets right now, the Mission Accomplished, which I will be giving 2 of those away tonight on this program. With that being said, enough of me. I am done talking. I'm going to go ahead and bring on the guest of the night. Her name is Britain Hart, also known as The Feeling. What up, yo?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on? Britain, how are you?
I'm doing well. Actually, it's funny. We are just now in the gym. We watched the fight. We kind of let our kids' class here watch the fight that happened. And then we watched it again. And we're kind of going through and picking little pieces up. But we definitely, I had to sit there and explain myself in parts of my post-fight interview on me not being a person, but a feeling. And yeah, I'm still living in that feeling. So I am definitely feeling it.
Yeah. So, was this the biggest weekend of your entire life, or was it? Have you had a bigger night than this?
No, this was definitely it. This was definitely it. But I think I do want to say it's a scary, awesome feeling because as great as it was, I know that it's just the beginning. Like, so to say it's the greatest and best night of my life, thus far, like I think that's
Yeah.
important. It is the greatest moment in my career, in my life so far, because I know there's going to be so many more of those moments, and they're just going to keep coming. So it's kind of a cool and scary, bizarre feeling knowing as great as this moment is right now, as awesome as it is, it's really just the beginning.
Man, it was one of the most exciting events I've ever been to in my life. I'm not just bullshitting, blowing smoke because I'm talking to you. That whole event, start to finish, like every single, it was like knockout, knockout. Um, the other female fight was one of it wasn't just one of the best bare knuckle fights you'll ever see. It was like one of the best fights you'll ever see. Those 2 girls poured it all out in the ring, and then Dat and Johnny Bedford put on a show. Lieben put on a show, and then you did your thing. Dominated 4 out of 5 rounds. How did the game plan unfold when you got in the ring?
Yeah, so the game plan is kind of one of those things like, it just shows you can really plan for something, but you really need to be prepared for everything. Because it was like in my heart, I knew she was going to run. Like, I knew it, but everybody else was coming and saying, no, she has something to prove. She's going to out clinch you. She's going to get inside. She's going to dirty box you. All she's training is dirty boxing, and she's going to be really dirty and rough with you. She's going to ragdoll you around because she's bigger. So we really planned to be ragdolled around and clinched. So when she stayed on the outside, there was definitely an adjustment period for me in the fight, um, where my brain went like a completely different route because, I was actually even saying, like, I always wanted to pull a Johnny Bedford. If someone ran for me on the outside, I want to be like Johnny Bedford and be like, no, 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 you meet me
Point.
right here. Let's go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
badass.
want to, I want to do that. But my brain wasn't even processing it because when she started moving and running, I was like, oh, wait, like, why isn't she coming in? Like, I was thinking she was going to come in on me the whole time. So I had to kind of chase her down, which I really have worked hard in my boxing career not to do. So you'll hear the commentators say, oh, look how good she cut the ring off, and Britain Hart's cutting the ring off. So I am so proud of myself for seeing that adjustment because normally you don't see that from me. You see me chasing my opponents down. So I think I was a lot more tactical and smart on cutting the ring off with her. So that was an adjustment. Um, how she throws and just kind of seeing different like mannerisms that she does that she hasn't really done before because she's never been just a striker. So it was definitely picking up those things. But again, in the fight or in fight camp, already or earlier with my coach, Marcus Luck, we always worked on clinch things and just being a dog. So I kind of got that from him. But then with Coach Haas up in Ventura, California, they really worked on, the whole cutting off the ring aspect, and being on the angles and being technical and having straight punches that are going to do damage. So they really helped me kind of harness that part. And it was kind of cool. Like we were talking about it. Like, again, you're always going to see a different Britain Hart in that ring. You never know what you're going to see. Like how I fought Paige, it was completely different than how I fought Randine. Or any of my other opponents, really. So I feel like you really, truly saw a different version of me on February 5th.
We talked about that last time you were on, how anybody can watch your 3 fights previous and see the evolution of you, and you look better than ever against Paige, for sure.
Yeah.
Did anything about Paige surprise you? Like, did she looked nervous. To the people on the outside, she looked very nervous. Did that surprise you? And I heard you say on another show that she was the hardest hitter you've ever ran into.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. One, yes, I did know she was nervous. I knew she was nervous at weigh-ins. When she choked me at weigh-ins, I knew right then and there that, something was going on in her head that was not wired right. So, I knew that. And then coming into the fight, she's been kind of like one of those people that are late to like press conferences and late to fighter meetings and late to interviews and stuff. So I was just kind of thinking, that one, maybe she wasn't like, she was just kind of not putting as much into it like I am, like making the time and to be punctual and to be the whole fighter's experience. Maybe that's because she thought she was better, or maybe it was because she was really nervous and didn't want things to distract her and take away from it. But either way, it kind of was like a sign of weakness, her not being, as smooth and fluent with things like I am. And it's like, oh, well, it's her first fight, it's her pro debut. But then again, a lot of people are like, well, she was at UFC, and UFC is like the elite of the elite, the best. They're like used to that pressure. So I feel like maybe it should have been something that she was used to. So it did surprise me that she was as nervous as she was.
Look at the
Coming
comments.
into the
The
fight.
comment says, she underestimated you. What a dummy.
Yeah, absolutely. And she
That's my
did. And
sister, by
that's
the way.
like proof to everybody because she underestimated me on camera. She
Yeah.
came in after my win against Randine. Again, like she came in. I mean, I did call her out. So I did say she was fucking next. But she comes in and says, I'm going to be an easy win for her. And then to go on the camera and say that, even on her worst day, she would beat this person. It just really shows that, when talent doesn't work hard work beats talent. And then put the talent with it. No, so I've always been a hard worker. That's always been me. But now I'm really getting the talent behind me and really having that all come together, which is that exciting transformation we've talked about before. But no, I did, when she did hit me, I never saw stars, and I never like had my bell rung to say. But she did, when she hit me, it wasn't something like, it was like, I don't want to exchange, I have to do what I have to do, but I don't want to get hit by her. I have a bunch of bruises and whelps on my arm, like huge bruises, from just blocking some of her punches. But it was basically the one to my mouth I felt. And when I felt it, I mean, I literally felt all that
The teeth move.
power. Yeah.
Was it one shot that loosened the teeth?
Yeah, the one shot just did all three. And I was like, wow. And I mean, my mouthpiece has never been knocked out ever in my life. Like, never. I actually usually talk shit about people that do spit their mouthpiece out in the fight. So I've never had my mouthpiece come out. Like, it's tight in there. And when I felt my mouthpiece come out, there's a small little clip, and you'll see me push it back in. And it was like, that's when I was like, oh shit, that's the hardest I think I've been hit dead on in the face before.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you this. So this is like your mom is a sweetheart, and she hooked me and my buddy Mike up because we had press passes and whatnot, but they wanted to stick us like, I don't know how we were supposed to do any kind of media stuff from the rafters where they wanted us to be. So your mom was like, we got 2 open seats right here. So I had one of the best seats in the house all night. Yeah, you didn't know this?
No, that's so cool. She did talk about you. She said you guys were awesome. I think I was wearing your shirt, so don't worry, I got your shirt back for you. So I was wearing your shirt, and she was like, "Oh, let me take a picture and send it." So she was very happy that I was wearing your shirt, and she said
Yeah.
that you guys were great. But I don't think I really retained that you guys were sitting together. So that's super cool. You did get the best seats.
Yeah, we did. We were table number 1, and I got to tell you this. So you are probably one of the most recognizable people in combat sports right now because of the weekend. You beat the face of whatever, and then you had that incredible post-fight interview.
Right.
During the fight, I'm standing there, and there's this dude standing next to me, and he's like, "She's losing this fight." I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Britain, Paige got this, 4 rounds to 0, going into 5, going into the 5th round." And I said, "What the hell are you watching?" I was like, "How are you seeing 4 rounds to 0 for Paige?" This proves that people didn't know who you are, and people don't even really know who Paige is either, because this dude goes, "The one in the orange and black, Paige."
No,
I go,
yeah.
"That's Britain, you fucking idiot." And he was like, "Oh, well, I make mistakes." I was like, "Dude, you need to know who that is now. Come on,
I
man."
know. Honestly, that's why people are still asking, has your life changed? And I'm like, man, I just got back like Saturday. I had to spend all day with my teeth, getting that fixed. And then Sunday was traveling to back to California, and then coming back here and then doing kids class. But so and then it's just really so every time I get a chance to get on social media, when I go onto social media, I see some weird comment has to probably to do with my interview, and I'm like, oh man. So I read some of these comments, and I'm like, I'm gonna sign off for a second. But it's funny. We had some debate. I think there's one. Someone was like, it sounds like this is awesome, but I'm saying it's the ocean.
You
So, anyways, but no, it's funny. It's seeing that and hearing that, and someone told me they're like your post fight interview. Oh hey, hi.
That's Nolan and that's Jackson. They wanted to say hi to the champ. Well, the
Yeah,
future champ.
absolutely.
Yeah, give her the fist bump and go to bed.
Okay.
Love you. See you, buddy.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, she says. Dream of being a champion. One day you'll knock somebody out on
Religion.
TV.
Be a feeling.
Yeah, be a feeling.
Be a feeling.
Yeah, that was cool. They're making it a habit of coming in here and saying goodnight to me live on the air. So
Yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, so they said that on Twitter it was trending, and that I'm on Snap trending, and all these other places that I'm trending. And
you were talked about on Ariel Helwani's show, which is the biggest platform in mixed martial arts. You were talked about on Morning Combat with Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, which is like the second biggest platform. So you're talked about as high up as it gets right now. So
Right.
Congratulations to you. It's awesome. Proud of you.
Thank you. Yes, and it is, and I feel like the biggest thing too is in doing these interviews, and I think people kind of get to see, because that's what we're laughing about in the gym is like, if you know me, it makes perfect sense, right? Like it makes complete sense. If you know me and you follow me, you're part of BKFC. But if you don't really know me and you're watching it on the outside looking in, you're kind of like, what's up with this girl? But technically can go be the toughest girl out there. Like, no, I think I've proved everyone I'm as tough as they come. Like, no one is tougher than me. And then my skills are getting tough. My skills are getting really great too. So now that I'm the toughest and getting to be the most skilled BKFC fighter, I'm definitely coming for the women division all the way, and I'm not slowing down or backing off whatsoever. But I'm still going to be me. And at the end of the day, like, none of this is going to change me. I'm still going to be the corny cheese ball, doing weird dance moves, making TikToks, but still working my ass off in the gym, making the place that, making the world a better place. And I think we need that. And I think a lot of times as fighters, you see the same kind of stereotypes. And I think it's something different to see somebody use fighting to be a positive platform and to spread positivity. And I mean, there's really, when you look about it, come on, there's no better feeling in the world than winning a major upset at a main event on Knucklemania. Like, that is a feeling. And it's more so the feeling that anybody can do anything and beat the odds. And I know a lot of people wanted me to win that fight, but I don't think they really thought I had it in me. I think that they thought Paige was going to edge me out a little bit, and I think that I shocked everybody and beat her. Honestly, I feel like I had all the rounds, so I don't even think I lost the last round, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you put on a hell of a show. The 5th round was the best round for her for sure. She finally I don't know if it took the first 4 rounds for her to finally shake the nerves that she had getting in there with you, and she finally loosened up a little bit in that 5th round. But either way, by then you had it in the bag anyway, and it was a close round. Personally, I had it 4-1. I don't hate me for that. I gave her the last one, maybe out of sympathy because she was getting her ass kicked for the first 4 rounds. But it was a hell of a fight, and she, you know what? Got to give her credit. If anybody's bashing her for going in there thinking she's badass and then getting her ass whooped by you, at least she got in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think that's just it. People don't realize that. People think, oh, Britain's not that. She's like a journeyman. She's like the person you get through to get to the top. What people don't understand is that Britain Hart is becoming the top. That I'm working. That Britain Hart is the one to beat. That I am hard. I'm one of the hardest, toughest opponents. So anybody that's coming into me thinking that I'm an opponent and going to build their record is really made a mistake. Like I'm really proven that I'm a contender that's champion contender, not just a oh, I'm a tough fighter. I'm a tough one to go through. Like I'm coming for the champ status. Like I want to be champ. I want that #1 spot. So I'm definitely not somebody to take lightly in that whatsoever, and especially having the experience and the will to do it and having the heart and here. But
and you fought the elite so far.
Yeah,
you fought Beck and Christine, and those two are as high up as you can get. So
yeah.
I mean, anybody who thinks you're just somebody to make a name off of, they got to get their shit straight. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because I'm going to be the one to beat now. It's not going to be Christine. It's not going to be Misfit. It's not going to be Beck. It's going to be Britain Hart is the one to beat. So I promise that's going to be my name coming forward. So again, this moment was so awesome and great, but it's really just the beginning because the bigger moments are going to be when I get that belt and when I, get my rematch and beat and win and come out flawless in the future. So that's what I'm aiming for. But
now do you now have is the feeling the new nickname? I got people calling you Britain Braveheart, Britain the Feeling Heart. Do you have a nickname or are you just Britain Hart?
Yeah, well, no, it's Heart 4.0. So
I love it. Yeah, that's right.
It was, and that's kind of so a story about that is like you saw it was Heart 2.0, then it was Heart 3.0, and then for this one it was Heart 4.0, meaning that as a fighter,
it's a better version.
as a person, I'm a better version. Like I'm out here, I'm not being the same type of fighter. I'm not being stagnant. I'm not, in one place just learning one thing. I'm out there freaking getting new knowledge, training my craft every day, working on it every day, trying to be better, fixing the bugs, fixing like my defensive flaws. Like I've been out there trying to like fix all these bugs and tweaks, and now you're seeing the upgraded version of me. So so that's where that nickname comes from.
It's great.
But it would probably be funny to hear what other people have to say. I think we talked about too. They're like, you should be blue collar Heart because you fight for all the, the blue collar folks.
All the hard workers out there, yeah.
Yeah, so just fun things like that. But again, I'm always changing and evolving. So I'm gonna keep up with that. Kind of goes with my logo, with the Phoenix logo, with the heart. I'm here to rise. And sometimes, you gotta burn the old version of yourself has to die for the new version to kind of come up. And so I think that's kind of I said it, in the press conference. I failed my way to greatness. So now that I'm great, I don't need to fail anymore. So I'm ready to fight my way to stay at the top.
Well, I want to give away a shirt, and I want you to help me do that. So I'm going to ask a trivia question. You got to have the answer in your head, and somebody's got to answer it in the comments section. What is Britain Hart's favorite color? Don't say it out loud. You got it in your head?
Yep. Oh, that's easy. This is an easy one.
All right. People in the comments section, you want to win this badass shirt that she's been rocking this week that I wore down there, that I handed out to some of the fighters. Get in the comment section right now. Guess Britain's favorite color. And while we're waiting on that, Ian says red. Is it red?
Nope.
Wrong, Ian. Megan says blue. Tim says yellow. Anybody right yet?
It's not yellow.
Not blue. Not purple. Anybody want black? You like black?
Oh, wait. I saw it before. It's not black. Nope.
It's not black?
Nope.
Gold?
Nope. Gold is a good one, though.
Yeah, she's going to get gold. Uh-oh. We got
There you go. There it is.
It was actually Saturn Frost. Whoever Saturn Frost is, sorry, Ian, she got in there before you. You won this T-shirt. It's a Killfoot clothing T-shirt. It's badass. It's comfortable. It's soft. You could agree with that, right? It's a pretty nice shirt.
Yeah, orange is my favorite color. I've had, fun fact, I've had 4 orange vehicles, and I usually go to the dealer lot and say, whatever you have that's orange.
The answer was orange. People, you can stop throwing colors in the comments. 4 orange cars. What's the most recent one?
A Dodge Caliber.
Nice. I got a Dodge Ram. It's all black though. So before we hit you with a second speed round, number 2, second trip to the Mission Accomplished show, I'm going to do another speed round with you. Can we please address the Jenny Savage entering the ring to try to steal your shine thing? What do you got to say about this?
Yeah, well, I can say who's Jenny Savage, first off, but I can go with that. But, like, seriously, I was in there and some crazy, it was, like, bizarre. Like, you'll even see it on my facial expression. I'm like, who? What is that? Like, it was, like, Halloween. I don't know. Like, it was coming up. It had a tube top on and crazy hair and fake eyelashes. And I was like, what is that? So then I realized when she started talking, I was like, oh, it's Jenny Savage. So I poured the water on her because I was like, she just needs to cool out and just go somewhere because no one wants to hear her steam. But basically, I don't even know what's up with this chick. She's freaking batshit crazy. And I don't know. She's trying to make her name for herself. She's probably like one of those YouTubers that think, they're going to go on there and be infamous and start a bunch of drama and problems and then get a famous fight with someone and become someone. So I think that she's on that kick right now. She thinks she's going to get famous from, calling out people, calling out fighters. But really what she did, I feel like, was really disrespectful and tasteless. And to come up and, again, I never said anything bad about her or did anything to her. I commentated one of her fights against Sheena Starr, which I think I did really great at. And I think a lot of people gave positive feedback. So I did a good job commentating her fight. And then at the end, I went to go tell her that she did. I was like, wow, good job. Your overhand is your best punch. And she just came right back with, oh, my overhand's not my best punch. You haven't even seen my best punch yet. And I was like, oh, chill out. I'm like, it's not a jab. I don't know, but you need to chill out with whatever you got going on. And then she just like blocked me on Facebook, and people were sending me this stuff saying Jenny Savage said this about you. And I'm like, I mean, I really wasn't even trying to entertain it because it was so like obviously out there, like on, just any classic bullshit rumor you could start about somebody. Basically a mean girl, like, your basic textbook bully. They get, you don't know what their home life is. She's probably struggling at home, and really sad, pathetic person. So she has to go out and do it to other people to make herself feel better. And then she's just really mean and heartless, and then thinks that she's the victim. So I don't know, but that's basically what it was. It surprised the hell out of me. So when people are like, oh, it's such staged and planned, as you can see, that stuff isn't staged or planned. It's just a little wild, and I guess emotions get a little bit run high in bare knuckle. I know that I drop the F-bomb a lot, so I do want to say here on our interview together that I apologize, because I'm really a sweet, nice person, and I don't like saying the F word. But if I say the F word, I'm really mad and I'm serious. So I know I dropped it a bunch. So sometimes, again, in fighting and bare knuckle, your emotions do run kind of loose and wild and rampage, as you can say. So maybe that's what happened to her. I don't know. But what she did, I think, was really disrespectful. And it blindsided me, honestly, because it wouldn't have even been appropriate to call me out. Like, we just got out this main event fight. My team, like we need time to breathe and understand what's going to be next. But if she wants to be fucking next, let's go. I'm definitely going to knock her out.
That's awesome. You don't have to apologize for swearing to me. I'm in the Army 19 years in, and I use the F word like a comma on like a daily basis.
Well,
yeah,
good,
I try not to as much because I got kids now, and like I catch myself in front of them a lot. But yeah, that was what the crazy thing about that was. I was standing right behind the security rail, and she was literally sitting right here in front of me. And I was watching you do your interview in the ring. I didn't even see her leave her chair. Like, she was literally right there. And then next thing you know, I'm like, what the hell is going on in there? And it looks like she smacked you or took a swing at you too. So
I mean, she could have tried, but she didn't touch me. But
Well, looks like you're gonna have a busy future. It looks like you got some people that want to fight you now. So,
It
what do we
does.
what do we expect out of Britain Hart in 2021? How
Yeah.
how active do you want to be? Do you want to fight a few more times this year?
Oh yeah, no, I'm sitting here right now like thinking, when can I fight again? Like I need to call the boss man up and be like, David Feldman, let's go. But I'm sure some people are, they're like, well, chill out, you just fought, enjoy this moment and recover and stuff. But I mean, I feel like I could fight tomorrow, honestly. That's how I feel. I don't know if it's the right decision and right choice and if my team will be behind me 100% on it, but I'm definitely wanting to fight tomorrow. So if anybody wants to pick a fight with me in the Walmart parking lot, it's on. But no, I'm sure we're gonna make smart decisions. But again, going with my reputation, I've never asked for shortcuts or the easy way. So I'm out there to be the best. Again, I'm not doing this for any other reason but to be the best and to make a name for myself and for people to respect me. And when people hear my name, hopefully they know it's a hell of a feeling and watch out.
Hell yeah! I know that there's one in April. Are you gonna be there, or are you gonna try to get on that? Is that too soon? It's like a month and a half out, 2 months
Yeah,
out.
I will definitely be there. I'm gonna make it my point. So you guys heard it. I'm as long as I'm fighting for BKFC and relevant, I'm gonna be at every fight because I want to take this super serious. I want people to not only support me as a fighter, but I want to support my fellow fighters. So I'm gonna be at every event. So you will see me there, even if I'm not fighting. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if April, if they got me, they have somebody good, set up for me that they think in April, then that would be awesome. So we'll
And
see.
and the 125 title is vacant
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
currently,
going to
right?
be coming hard for that. So that's my next thing. I think I'm going to be really hard at it. And again, I'm a company person, and what's the best for everybody. I do go for the common good, but I got to be, also something for me, selfish, and I worked hard for this, and I definitely want to show people that again, I'm a champ. I'm not just an opponent. I'm a champ. So I have that message to prove and that dream to follow now. So that's really what's next in 2021. So that answers that. So what's next for Britain Hart in 2021? Somehow, some shape or form, I promise you, a belt or title of some form is going to be around my waist by the end of the year.
Awesome. And I could tell you right now that you're gaining steam. I was at work today and I went to go Google some shit, and you know how they have the stories, like the main stories?
Uh-huh.
You were the top story. I was
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, look at that. There's Britain. It's awesome. Top story on like the news feed there. It was something to do with you and Britain Hart and Jenny Savage. It was some little story about that. It was more about the post fight Jenny Savage water bottle incident than the fight. But either way, you were in the news, so fuck it.
Awesome. Either way, you can be like, hey, I know that girl and she's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I'm gonna do part two speed round with you right now before I let you go. You're a busy woman and you got a lot of shit to do. So I'm gonna say speed round part two with Britain Hart. Number one question, here it is. What was your post weigh-in meal on Thursday night?
Oh, this one is good. This is a good one. So I went crazy over it, but it was at Harry's. We ate at Harry's 4 nights in a row. So we really
Oh.
love that place. So big shout out to Harry's Seafood or whatever it's called. But I had a
You were there 4 times.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know. All I got was Harry's. I still
Okay,
haven't eaten
that's
it.
all that matters. Yeah.
Harry's Seafood and Grill, I think. But I had a Louisiana pot pie for my post weigh-in meal, and it was awesome. It had like shrimp, crawfish in it,
Wow.
potatoes, like a creamy sauce, and then a cornbread pie crust.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that was
That was
my
right
favorite.
in that was in Lakeland?
Yeah, it was like right across the
Harry's in
street.
Lakeland. Okay. So you want to, before I go to the next question, just a quick fun fact. My dad is from Lakeland,
Oh,
and
cool.
he graduated in the arena that the fights were at.
Oh, no way.
He,
That is really neat.
yeah, he couldn't
That's a
believe
cool
it.
fun fact.
Right. I told him I was going to the RP Funding Center at the Jenkins Arena, and he was like, in Lakeland, Florida? And I said, yeah. He goes, that's where I graduated high school. I'm like, what? That's fucking crazy. Yeah. All right. Number two. You had told me in the past episode that you were an adrenaline junkie. What is the craziest thing you've ever done for an adrenaline rush other than a bare knuckle fight?
Right. So that is very accurate, as you guys can see, because I was adrenaline dumping hard at the end of that fight. But So the craziest thing I've ever did, it was actually in Florida too. It was in Spring Hill, and there's all these like kayaking routes. Well, there's this one like it's normally shallow water, but there's this one little pool of water that's 8 feet deep, and there's this tall, tall tree with like nailed two little wooden posts, and you climb up these wooden posts to the top of the tree, and they have like the teeniest, tiniest ledge at the very top, and you have to jump from that ledge into this one small swimming hole without dying. And
Yeah.
they're
Without
like, you
blowing
can
your
climb.
legs out.
Yeah. So on the way up, so I'm climbing up to get on this teeny tiny ledge to drop into this teeny tiny pool. And as I'm up, one of the wooden planks
Oh
comes off
boy.
of the tree. Like the net, it comes unhinged. And I'm like, whoosh. Like I had to grab back on the tree, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like I looked down, and I was like, it's too
Was the
dangerous to go down. You
was the
know,
tree swaying?
it
Like
was. It was like a skinny tree. Yeah. So I was like, I looked down. I was like, man, it's probably safer if I go up and jump off at this point. If I go to climb down, I'll probably get hurt. So I had to climb up the tree to that little ledge and jump. I mean, it was like, honestly, it was like it was like a 50-foot jump. It was really, really high. So I made it, and it felt great. And I was like, afterwards, when I realized I didn't die and I made it, I was like, yeah, let's do it again.
dude, I am like while you're describing that, I'm picturing like a Bugs Bunny cartoon where they climb the huge ladder and then jump in like a glass of water.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly, picture that. That's exactly what it was.
That's great. All right, number 3. What is your dream opponent?
Okay,
It
so
doesn't have to be in the BKFC right now. Anyone, dream opponent.
I know. So it's kind of crazy that you asked that because it has always been my dream opponent. And I always felt like Heather Hardy was someone I kind of looked up to as far as like a girl boxer, and her story and kind of what she, how her personality is a little different. And I always thought I could beat Heather Hardy in boxing. Like I always was like, I really think I could beat her. As hard, she's tough. Like she's a tough girl, and I know I've heard that she hits really hard. I've always wanted to go meet her and spar with her up at Gleason's. Um, and even someone even called us like doppelgangers one time that would kind of maybe look similar and some similar things. But she would probably be my dream opponent. I think I heard that maybe one day she would come to BKFC. But I think that Heather Hardy is one of the best, and I think that I could beat Heather Hardy.
That would be awesome. I met her at Bellator event up at Mohegan Sun. She's very nice. Got a picture with her and everything. Very cool
Yeah.
person. That would be a great fight. Number 4. What is your favorite Disney movie of all time?
Uh, Probably Frozen, as stupid as that sounds, but I do really like the Frozen movie.
Well, you have a daughter, and you probably watched it 80 times. So
Yeah, I did. And it never gets old. So movies that never get old are kind of like, dang. I could watch it every day and be like, still get into it a little bit.
what's a reality show that you'd like to be on?
Oh, this is so great. So we're actually working on it right now. So spoiler alert, I've always wanted to be on Naked and Afraid.
No
So
way.
yeah, and I tried. I tried to apply for it because I swear to God I would make it. Like I would survive. And anytime like there's been a situation in my life that was hard, I always go back and say, "Huh, if I was on Naked and Afraid, I bet you I could do it." So I just suck it up. So Naked and Afraid has actually already helped me so much in my 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 life. But I'm hopefully gonna reach out to them. And how cool would that be to be like, bare knuckle fighter? She can survive Paige
Survivalist.
VanZant. She can survive the ring, but can she survive the jungle?
Yeah, and you can also be like Paige VanZant. You can be naked all you want on Instagram. How about you go out in a fucking jungle?
Yeah, exactly. And see, I can be naked and survive drinking water and like being in like the craziest situations ever and survive. But can you? Nope. You just get naked. And I heard she started her OnlyFans page. So I heard that she just started
Do you
OnlyFans like
feel
right
like you
after
may
our fight.
be sort of responsible for that?
I
Do
think
you-
so. I guess I put her into retirement. She has to make money
oh
somehow.
my God. All right. You guys are going to end up fighting again for those words right there. I
Yeah.
look forward to it. Okay, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Definitely Michael Jackson, 100%. I feel like my dance moves are kind of like his.
Spit and image, virtually identical, as Mike Goldberg would say.
Thank you. I think that too. I've always said that.
What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know what? I would probably Robin Hood it and, I don't know, It sounds bad though, but I would probably get like a bunch of money and give it to people who really needed it, who are really struggling, like people that needed like to go get cancer heart transplants or something like that. But I would probably use it to you know, go take money that I shouldn't probably take. But that's the reason why I would do it.
You're only human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the answer that everybody would say. Or all the perverts would hang out in like a woman's locker room or something like that.
I wouldn't do that.
All right, now this question, I was trying to come up with 3 more questions at the end of the day, and I couldn't come up with any. So my son, my 9-year-old, says, "What's the favorite book you ever read?"
Yeah, these are good questions. I'm actually The Hunger Games. So I read The Hunger Games and I really enjoyed reading them. The movies were really good too, but the books were way, you know, like they said, the book is always way better. The book was awesome. So it kind of really complemented the movie when you were watching it because you could already kind of see from the book being so much more in detailed. But anyways, I read The Hunger Games and loved it.
I actually watched the movies. I didn't read the books, but watched the movies. They're cool. I watched them on my last deployment. If you were going to make a movie about yourself, this came from my wife. If you were going to make a movie about yourself, what actor would you want playing the love interest?
Oh, like what actor do I get to fall in love with?
Yeah. Who's your man in the movie?
Oh, dang. You know what? I'm actually not going to be cliche and say, you know, what everyone else is probably thinking. You know, mine would be more of like an Adam Sandler, like somebody that's really funny and goofy and can kind of put up with my shit.
Wow.
So
There
yeah,
you
that's
go.
probably my love interest would be Adam Sandler.
Now the typical girl would probably say like the guy that plays Thor, right? That dude,
Right. Yeah.
or Ryan Reynolds or someone like that.
Yeah. Or that guy who plays Aquaman. He's really good looking too.
Oh yeah, that guy. What about the Adam Sandlers of the world, right? Yeah, that's right. That's what you said. So take that, the good-looking fucking guys of the world. All right. Number 10 came from my 6-year. Number 10 came from my 6-year-old. If you were a superhero, what superpower would you have, and what would be your superhero name? That came from Nolan, the 6-year-old.
Okay, so my superhero power absolutely 100% would be to control and manipulate time. So I would want to freeze time, fast forward it, rewind it, manipulate time. So that's 100% what I would be. So let's see, if I had a superhero name, I haven't actually given thought to that, so that's new. But I guess I would be like dang, what would be it? I guess the heart clock. I don't know.
Or the Phoenix, maybe.
And then I can
I
just
think there already is a Phoenix.
you.
Yeah. Larry Davis says, best answer, dad bods live on. There you go. There you go, Larry. You have some hope in your life.
Yep.
All right. Well, Britain Hart, it was a pleasure having you back on for a second time. It was awesome to see you live. That event, by the way, top to bottom, was outstanding. Those guys put on a hell of a show. And the fighters themselves, they pour it all out in there. And I couldn't have been happier being down there. It was a great time.
Absolutely. I tell everyone that I'm not just being selfish about being me, watch me, but man, they did it. They had the it factor. So big hand. Shout out to David Feldman and BKFC, everyone behind the scenes, you know, Nate Shook, Katie, a lot of other people that put their time and pour their heart into it. But it really had the it factor. The fights were awesome. They were I think all the fans went back home. You got the blood, guts, and glory, but you also got the skill and the finesse. But it just had the it factor, man. It was just there all the way. So it was super fun to be a part of, and definitely super fun to have the outcome that it did. It was just definitely best moment of my life thus far.
Oh, hey, you know what? My wife just chimed in the comments and said I'd obviously pick, say, the Prison Break guy. That's who everyone says I look like, obviously, the Prison Break actor.
Oh,
but thanks,
funny.
wifey.
I don't know who that is, though.
Dominic Purcell is his name. I've heard it a million times in my life. And you know what was really cool about the event? Last thing, it was also like an underdog story, too, because you, Dat, and Lieben were all betting underdogs, I believe, going into your fights. And you obviously dominated. Dat beat Johnny Bedford, and Chris Lieben, as legendary as he already was, he knocked out a dude twice in one fight. You know, he got one win out of it, but it was just an incredible event. It was great.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. And it was cool, actually. Dat told me when we were doing the weigh-ins, Dat was right in front of me, and he looked at me and he was like, "The underdogs, we're gonna win. I feel it." And he actually had so much self-belief. I was like, wow. So I really saw how he was mentally before the fight, and he nailed it. He was like, he dapped me up, and he was like, the underdogs are gonna win. We're gonna show them we're the workers. We're gonna do this. And I was like, oh hell yeah.
So awesome. Great attitudes like all around. It was I don't have a bad thing to say about the whole event. Everything was great. I will say this. This is just me being a selfish asshole. They ran out of pizza in the arena. I didn't eat anything from like 9:30 in the morning till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm a hungry man. So I was just like, it was hard to get food. Other than that, it was a freaking awesome event. And I have your autograph on my wall now, right over there with the fight poster. So that's pretty cool. I got you and Paige and Lieben and Lorenzo. They're all up on the wall there. So very cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Man, that's legendary stuff.
It is a legend. Yeah, more to come. I can't wait to see you again. Go ahead and shout out anything you want to say before you get out of here. I know you're busy, so.
Yeah, no, you're good. Absolutely. Just soaking it in. So thank you for being awesome. And this was so much fun. So it was good to talk about. So thank you. Really, thank you to everyone who supported me throughout fight camp. Huge shout outs to my coaches, Marcus Luck at Lux Boxing Gym, and then Joseph Janik, which is Coach Haas, and Chris J with Knuckleheads. And then my coaches Tapa and Carrie came from Charlotte, North Carolina. And, I had Tim and his wife, Brittany, come from Colorado. I had Sarah and Johnny come from Danville, Virginia. It was just that whole entourage of just great people. Honestly, I have to give my thank you to them first and foremost, because their energy and love and support really made me a solid fighter going into that. So big thank you to them. But my sponsors, again, Royal Kratom, Fusion, Hit 5, Be Lit Organics, Walking Thread, all those people, man, they really helped my fight camp. They helped me have the most stress-free camp ever. I got to recover. I had Healthy One and NutriFit, make sure that I got vitamins and good substances in my body. So, it was just a whole team effort. So huge. Veteran Farms. Definitely couldn't have done it. So I have to give a huge shout out to Veteran Farms, Richie L. Tuck and Son Wood Products and Afton Service Center. They also helped with my living expenses and things that get really expensive as a fighter with plane tickets and anyways, going and all that. But it was a whole team process. So huge thank you to all of them. And again, I hope you know that I'm a woman of my word, and that I own up to it, that if you believe in me and invest in me, I'm going to give you 100% and then more. So hopefully we continue this momentum moving into the whole year of 2021.
All right. And by the end of the year, you will have gold around your waist. I can see the future already. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll be in touch.
Awesome. You know it.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the face of BKFC right now, man. Biggest star in the sport. The bare knuckle world now has their girl, and it's not named Paige VanZant. So very cool for Britain to come back on for a second time. I got a second guest tonight, my man Mike Hunold, who spent the weekend down there with me, experiencing the whole damn thing. Mikey, what up, dog?
Hey, what's up there, sizzle chest?
Hey, what's up there, Rubberneck?
Got my Knucklemania shirt on. Knucklemania running wild in here. That was a great interview.
Yeah, she's an awesome girl, man. Very personable, and man, does she believe in herself and everything she does. I see really big things in the future for her. How do you feel about it? Why don't we just go straight into that? We'll go right into Knucklemania, starting with the main event. What were your thoughts on the Paige Britain fight?
So, before she was on the show, didn't really know her, right? Then she came on the show, and I was like, wow, this chick is awesome, right? We go down there, and we find out her mom is just as awesome as she is. Let's just sit at the table, right?
Yep.
And then she comes out, confident as all hell, comes in and beats the Golden Goose, right? That was like, somebody comes over, hey, it's going to be the face of BKFC, basically. I mean, that's how I felt. You know, they gave her this big contract. She comes out and bada bing, bada boom, as they say. Britain Hart took her out, and it was fantastic.
It was
I
incredible.
loved it.
I mean, we were sitting at that table with her family and her friends, and they were going absolutely ballistic. And me and Mike went down there kind of on like as a neutral observer, but Britain had been on the show before, and now we're sitting with her mom and her friends, and we were feeling a little invested in the Britain corner, man. Like I felt like a proud member of the Hart clan when
Yeah.
she as the fight got closer and closer to the end. I was like getting more and more excited because she was going to do it. It was great. It was awesome, and the arena was going ballistic. Like, yeah, unbelievable.
Dare I say the Hart Foundation?
The Hart. We were sitting with the Hart Foundation. Yeah,
That's
Jim the
right.
Anvil Neidhart. You were Bret Hart, and I was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. If we were the Hart Foundation, sitting there with the Hart clan,
Yeah,
dude.
it was very cool. Her mom was very gracious to let us sit there, and we owe her big time. So, shout out to Britain's
Yeah.
mom.
Now in the co-main event, you had Dat Nguyen against brutal Johnny Bedford. Everybody saw the size difference between Johnny Bedford's way up here and Dat's way down here. At the weigh-ins, the size difference was like very, very noticeable. But Dat went in there and like it was a razor close decision. It was. It could have went to an overtime round, which they do in bare knuckle. But it didn't. And I'm not mad about the split decision win. Thoughts on that, Mike?
Oh, it was great. From the bell to the bell. That thing was great. I mean, the first round, second round, like we were in it. I was glued to that fight. And you know, everybody in the crowd was going crazy, and everyone was back and forth. Who's winning? One person says Bedford. One person says Deppy Dat. You know, and then the you're waiting for them to say who won, and nobody knows who's going to win. You have no idea. You know, it was like that close, razor thin. And I got to give it to Dat. He pulled it out, and it was fantastic. I mean, like you were saying, it's like the true underdog. All the underdogs came to win that night, and that was fantastic. I loved it. And I was telling you earlier, this is one of the best, if not the best. Like we've been to UFC, Bellator, CES, MMA. I've been to ESPN boxing, and this bare knuckle boxing event was probably the best event that I've ever been to, with all the knockouts and the crazy close fights and the build up to the main event. It was like, you know, I'm pulling from WWE a lot here. It was electric. You know, you could feel it. You really
Dude,
could. It was insane.
And what I loved about the Dat and Johnny fight, they got Shaq to go in and present the belt. And Shaq didn't want to put the belt on him because he didn't want to get blood on his clothes. I heard that afterwards. Shaq was like, "Can I just hand it to him? Because I don't want to get anything on my clothes." That's how entertaining. Like it was a brutal war. Dat's pace was incredible, but every time he would blast at Johnny Bedford throws those like wild brawler type hooks. He would get up against the ropes and like start pounding his way back away from the ropes. He'd back Dat up against the ropes. It was just a back and forth war that everybody should get on the BKTV app and check it out now. I'm sure they're all available somewhere. You could find these fights somewhere. We also got to see the crippler, Chris Lieben, in his final fight ever, which was unbelievable because, like I said earlier to Britain, this dude is just an absolute legend. And he cemented his legendary status by knocking a guy out not once, but twice in his final fight. The first one, Quentin Henry claimed it to be an eye poke, but it was clean, and they showed it several times on the big screen. It was the knuckle. I think the second shot broke the orbital, and the third one went in the eye, but it was a knuckle. Should have been a 10 count. Yeah.
It was definitely a knuckle. And in the arena, you didn't know what happened because it happened so quickly and everybody's actually watching the fight. So it was very hard to see, especially from the angle that we were on. But watching the replay on the screen, we were watching it going, no, that looks like a legal shot to me. So at this point, he takes a break because you get 5 minutes. but
He takes
technically
the
he's
only
lost the fight.
He took the whole 5 minutes too.
And it was crazy because he was like on his knees, and it was great. He was screaming on his knees to try to hype himself
Yeah.
back up. He's got a broken orbital. You could see his skin just starting to droop down his face like
It looked like it was pushed
candle
in.
melting.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a candle melting. The wax was just going down, and I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, these guys are nuts. Gets back up, they go at it again. And I mean, when I say they go at it, they went at it. Like it was all out swinging for the fences for the rest of the fight. It wasn't long, but they were swinging for the fences. And
I think that, dude, I
pulled
think
it out.
coming off that 5 minute break or recovery time, Quentin knew that his face was busted. Like I think he had to know. By that point, the replay had been shown so many times on the screen. The crowd was kind of like booing, like yelling. It was clean. It was clean. I think he knew I need to shoot out of a cannon and finish him off quick if I'm going to win this fight. And that's exactly what, like you said, when they got back to the line and he said, knuckle up and go, Quentin Henry fired out of a cannon straight at that motherfucker. It was like nonstop action until he was laying on his face. And I was so goddamn happy for Chris Leben, man.
Oh yeah.
And then the craziest shit happened. Like Chris Leben's doing his post-fight interview, and the people on TV probably didn't see this, but there was a big ass brawl up in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Right as he's like thanking everybody for his great career and he's thanking his family and his friends, he points up to the crowd. I don't know if it was his friends that got into that brawl, but all of a sudden, seats are clearing.
Oh yeah.
People are running up into the crowd. A guy and a girl are brawling with each other. It was like
that's right.
It was like adrenaline overload when Chris Leben won that fight, man. It was unbelievable. Then I mean, I'm looking at this card on the wall here, and like the Brandon Lambert fight was a disappointment, a huge disappointment, right? All the hype. He talked his way into a contract. He sold everybody on it. I asked him on this show, you know, what is your deal, man? I can't find footage. I can't find training footage. I can't find photos. I can't find anything of you ever fighting. Where have you fought? And he swore up and down. I don't know. He swore he had experience. He had all these Muay Thai fights. I don't know about you, but it didn't look like he had ever fought a fight in his life. The weird jab he was throwing, like he was throwing sideways, and every time he would go to throw a jab, he would like almost step back and he would like throw this jab.
Right.
And then every time he threw a left hand, it was coming from fucking left field, like
telegraphed. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd bring it like way back and be like, everybody in the world could see that you're about to throw a left. Brandon, what the hell are you doing? And Kid Gotti, you know, don't take away anything from him because Kid Gotti showed skill and he's got really good hands. He's a good boxer, and that kid's got a good future. But I was super disappointed in the Brandon Lambert experience.
Yeah, I had some faith that he was going to come in there and do, you know, put in some work. And listen, look, he went in there and he did fight bare knuckle, which I give him total credit for. But, you know, I feel like I don't believe he made weight, and you know, he also didn't really pay off in the fight too much, but he did get up in there and do that. So I'll give him credit for that. Hopefully he comes back, if he comes back and he's better, but I'm not sure if they're going to let him back. I have no idea. It's very still mysterious to me.
Yeah. We can't not talk about the Taylor Starling Carissa Sagala fight. That was I'm gonna go out on. I mean, I know recency bias is huge in the combat sports world, and yes, I'm being recency bias or whatever you call it. It was last weekend, but that Taylor Starling fight was one of the top 10 fights I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Top 10. I'm not gonna say maybe I'm not gonna put it top 5, but it was in the top 10. And I would watch it again. And the thing is, we watched it from ringside. So I didn't watch it on TV. I don't know if everybody else saw how special it was from their couches. But being there live and seeing those girls get bloodier and bloodier as the fights went on, and 500 punches being thrown in a 10-minute fight between two professional fighters. Unfriggin' believable.
Yeah, it's just very short. You know, it was a short time after Stephen A. Smith said that, you know, he doesn't want to see women fighting. And then these two chicks put on like a hell of a performance as well as the main event. But I digress. The first round I thought was over when Segala got clipped by Starling. When I tell you she fell, and I think I heard somebody yell timber. Like she was like this, straight, stiff as a board, arms down straight by her side, and went meow. And I was like, that's it, it's over. There's no way she's getting up. I mean, she was stiff. She fell and hit that mat, and I was like, it's over. She bounces back up. Oh, I'm good, like the Undertaker. Boom. You know, and then she stands up and she keeps fighting, and she got knocked down again and got back up. And I said, this is definitely going to be over, right? The ref's going to stop this in a minute. Nope. She fought, started bringing her way back into the fight. That fight was crazy. It was unbelievable. It was right. Just like
it was incredible. And me and you
we got to talk to Taylor.
I was gonna say me and Mike got an opportunity to meet her and her team afterwards at the hotel, and such cool ass people. And she's down there mingling. Her face is all busted out and black, and her eyes like swollen shut. Her hands are swollen, but she's having a cocktail and shooting the shit with everybody. Like,
yeah, 3 in the morning.
Big deal. 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, unbelievable, man.
That's Steve right there.
Hell yeah. Steve Smith says ranks up there with the Forrest Griffin Stephan Bonner fight. Unbelievable.
Oh, for the record, not that Steve Smith, the other one.
What's that?
I said for the record, it wasn't that Stephen Smith. It was Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So just so people aren't confused, it wasn't him. Unless that is Stephen A. Smith, and this show's gotten that big where Stephen A. Smith's watching. Hey, Stephen A.
I'm sure that's not him. But we're okay. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the Knucklemania talk. We gotta give a shout out to our
shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
John Lee Chalbeck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Amazing fighter. And Lorenzo Hunt too. But I wanted to talk about Chalbeck real quick because I'm telling you, this guy is something else. The way that he fought, you could feel it. He felt like when you watch this guy fight, you're like, this guy belongs in here. He should live in the ring. The way he moved, the way he punched after he won, his persona, the way he was talking today on
true
social
professional.
Media. He's great. Sure. So I just wanted to put that out there. Watch John Lee Chalbeck for sure.
And I pointed that out when you go on all these fighters' social medias, they always post pictures of their faces and their hands afterwards because they're bare knuckle fighters, and that's what everyone wants to see. You will see a difference in John Lee Chalbeck's hands when you look at his hands compared to everyone else's entire hand is swollen. The back of their hands are swollen. They just like big meat hooks after. You look at John's, only these two knuckles are swollen on both hands. Only these two knuckles are purple and bruised on these hands, which means that he's hitting exactly the way you're supposed to. Technically proficient, exactly the way you're supposed to hit somebody is the way John Lee Chalbeck hits somebody, and you could tell just by the after effect. Like you could tell. I mean, he had he got clipped once, but that dude put on a masterful performance and picked that dude apart, and it ended up breaking Greg Bono's jaw at the end of that fight, and walking away like his face,
his orbital this side.
Yeah, he came down to the same after party thing, and like that dude, he was looking like Elephant Man at that point.
Another soldier, like guy, awesome. Greg Rock Hard Bono. So
Rock Hard Bono.
He was good too. You know, he fought on with a broken jaw. So
yeah, and nobody doubted that Lorenzo Hunt was going to go out there and put on a show from the walkout to the knockout. That dude's just a big face of that company. And he spent the rest of the night down around the ring shooting the shit with everybody. He's definitely a people person, and Lorenzo's a big star. Big shout out to all those guys. Drew Lipton, too, a fellow veteran, had a rough loss, came out with the Hulk Hogan colors. He gave us an interview by the pool. He's just a really nice, great person, great human being. So shout out to Drew.
Right. We got Drew Lipton.
Yep. Everybody that's watching, go check out Bare Knuckle Knucklemania. There is a UFC event this weekend. Let's cruise through that real quick before we wrap this up tonight.
Sure.
UFC 258. Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Co-main event is Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. You have Kelvin Gastelum versus Ian Heinisch. You got Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. And a bunch of other ones. It's a really good card for those for the casuals out there. They'll look at this card and they'll be disinterested because they won't see a lot of names that they know. But starting with the main event, Kamaru Usman hasn't lost in 7 going on 8 years. He hasn't lost since 2013 or something like that. All-American wrestler, monster in the 170-pound division, big, giant, strong man. But he's fighting Gilbert Burns, who is a teammate of his. Gilbert Burns is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3-4-time world champion, on a absolute roll, has power in his hands. How do you see the Kamaru Usman Gilbert Burns fight panning out?
Okay, so as we know, lately Usman's been a decision maker. He's a decision machine. It's not a bad thing. He's just very dominant in wrestling. It's just the way he is. And I mean, he's beat everybody. He's got 9 decisions here.
Yeah, he ragdolls them.
Yes, he does.
The only one he hasn't is Kobe.
Right,
Covington.
and then they stood up, and he proved that he can stand up and fight, and he won that way. So you have to give him a little props there. Gilbert Burns, on the other hand, is good at everything, and he's great at BJJ, but he's good at everything. He's not great at everything. That's my opinion. And the way that I look at things is if somebody has a great wrestling base, I like to bet on the person with a great wrestling base because he's got great wrestling and he can also strike. It's not that Gilbert Burns can't, but I think that Usman is better at wrestling. And I do think that he will be able to hold Burns. I don't think he'll be able to take him down and hold him there the whole fight, but I think he'll do enough to be able to squeak a unanimous decision out once again. And I think that Usman will take this one. And it's going to be just like a long grind out fight. That's what I think it's going to be. Not a bang out fight like a Covington fight.
All right.
Because
hey, before
Usman has a lot more power than, Burns has more power than Covington does.
Before we go any further, second T-shirt giveaway of the night. We got 12 people still watching. Apparently, a bunch of people want to go away when Britain Hart goes away. So,
hey, look at this face.
Hey, so anyways, second shot for a T-shirt right here. Here's the trivia question. On this card, UFC 254, there's 2 guys that are consummate pro veterans, right? Always fighting. Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. What is the total combined fights between these 2 gentlemen in their careers?
Somebody's going to have to do math.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a little math. This is Bobby Green.
I don't do math after this.
Somebody look this up. Get it quick because you can get yourself a T-shirt. I want to see that number in the comment section. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller at UFC 258. Total combined professional fights between the 2 of them. All right. While they're working on that, no, 150 is wrong, Megan. Talk about the co-main while we're waiting on this. So,
all right.
While we're waiting on this, you got Macy Barber, who was the up-and-coming big star. Ian says 37. That is incorrect. Up-and-coming big star. Sidelined by a knee injury last year. Got beat by Roxanne Modafferi. Macy was the one that they were making out to be the next big challenge to Valentina Shevchenko for the 125-pound title. 86 is close, Chris Larkin. Very close. What do you got in this one? You got Alexa Grasso, who is a boxer, Mexican fighter, very good hands. If it stays on the feet, it's going to be a banger. If it goes to the floor, it's going to be something. What do you got to say about that? Break it down.
All right, check it out, right? Macy Barber is a plus 120, which means she's the underdog right here. So if I'm a betting man for this fight, I'm going to put my money on Macy Barber. And you know why? Because she trains with Rufus, and she also trains with Ben Askren. And you want to know what Ben Askren's good at? Wrestling. And you want to know what Alexa Grasso had trouble with fighting? Wrestlers. Tatiana Suarez, who is huge, let's just say she's massive and she's a great wrestler. She's probably the best wrestler in the women's, in all women's right now. But she also had a problem.
Boo, 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 boo. We got a winner. We got a winner. 87 fights between these two gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead. Hold on. Before you keep going, 87 fights. Bobby Green has 39 pro fights. Jim Miller, 48. These Jim Miller's going into his 49th goddamn fight this weekend. Bobby Green, number 40. Jesus Christ. Did these guys ever take a break? I don't think so. No. Ian Olsen just won himself a t-shirt. Text me your size, big boy. All right. Don't stop. And Ian says, fuck yeah. Support the team. Anyways, Alexa Grasso.
So Alexa Grasso, she's had trouble with wrestlers. She's had a win-loss streak. And her losses were against Tatiana Suarez and Carla Esparza. Two really, and that's actually Esparza. You know, I know my Rhode Island accent, Esparza. So
Esparza?
If you try to look her up, it's Esparza, not Esparza. So when you Google. So, but they're both wrestlers. She's had trouble with them. Macy Barber's going to come in there. She's going to swing for the fences on the way in, and she's going to take her down and ground and pound her, just like she did in the fight we were talking about, one of her first fights, where she just beat the living crap out of the chick she was fighting. I don't even remember the chick's name, but she pounded her face in.
So so Macy Barber for the win by domination?
By domination. Maybe, it could go to a decision, but I don't know if it will go to a decision. I think that Macy Barber might be able to end this. And let's say the second.
I'm going to say, I don't know if she's going to dominate her. All I think about is when Macy Barber made her debut in the UFC, she put on a display of ground and pound that, prime Tito Ortiz and Vanderlei Silva, those guys would be proud of her performance. She came out of that ring draped in her opponent's blood after brutally ground and pounding this fucking girl. I think Macy Barber takes it to the floor and really dominates as well. Maybe first round. I think she's going to come out and try to make a statement, because she talked a lot going into that Roxanne Modafferi fight. She made a fool out of herself after the fight by acting, in my opinion, unprofessional. The way she kind of discredited Roxanne Modafferi for the win by blaming the entire loss on the knee injury and sitting in the ring kind of like a baby. It was not a good look for her, right? So She was the hot item. She lost. Now she has to win everybody back. And like you said, she comes from an amazing camp. She has great coaches, and she has all the skill in the world to do big things in the flyweight division. Yep. So first, maybe second round.
Fun fact: she's tied for the most KOs in flyweight history with Shevchenko and
with what?
Dobson.
Two?
With two.
How many? Two. That's right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Weird.
All right, and the rest of the card, I want to point it. We already did. I want to point out the Bobby Green and the Jim Miller one. We're going to go into Kelvin Gastelum in a second, but the Bobby Green, you got to love these two guys, man. They are company men. They are constantly out there, and this is going to be like Bobby Green's fifth or sixth fight in the last 8 months. So look for those two to put on a performance. That they're fighting for their livelihood right now. But the one that I'm very excited about is Ian Heinisch versus Kelvin Gastelum. Me and Mike talked about this earlier today. Everybody should go online and look up Kelvin Gastelum's career. This guy has the most stacked list of opponents that he has fought in his career. What do you say to that, Mike?
It's unbelievable, the list of people that he's fought. And I mean, I could read a few off right here real quick. Let's say Hermanson, Till, Adesanya, Souza, Bisping, Weidman, Belfort, Kennedy, Hendricks, Magny, Marquardt, Woodley, Ellenberger, Rick Story, Uriah Hall. What?
Unbelievable. Yeah, and he's on a 3 yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, but they are to Israel Adesanya, Jack Hermanson, and Darren Till. Like 3 absolute monsters. You know what I mean? Like
battle with Adesanya too. Not like Adesanya whooped his ass and it was and that was it. That's not what it was. You know,
he went to war with Adesanya, and he went to a split decision with Darren Till. So it's like these 3 losses. He went to war with the best middleweight on the planet. He went to war with Anderson Silva 2.0. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Israel Adesanya. Darren Till is a gorilla. His name is like the Silverback or something. Whatever his nickname is, he's a monster. And he went to a split decision. Dude, I think
the gorilla.
It is the gorilla. Yeah. So as good as Ian Heinisch is, and I do like Ian Heinisch, I think that if anybody's sleeping on Kelvin Gastelum because he's on a 3-fight skid, get ready to get disappointed because Kelvin Gastelum is no chump.
Can I tell a funny story?
Go ahead.
Go, finish your statement, please.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That was it.
So Ian Heinisch, before he started fighting in the UFC early life, this guy was into some real crazy stuff. So the people who are watching right now, this guy got arrested with 2,000 ecstasy pills.
Who did?
Ian Heinisch. And then before he could go to jail for it, he left the country and flew to Amsterdam. And then he started running cocaine from South Africa to Spain. And he got caught with a kilo of coke and spent time in prison. And he learned Spanish by reading a Spanish Bible and using an English dictionary. And then after that, he ended up when he got out of jail, he flew back to America. And they were like, well, you're wanted here too. So now you're going to Rikers Island. And he spent time in Rikers Island.
Holy shit.
He came out and fought. That's the Ian Heinisch story. And this guy was selling drugs because I think he was trying to pay money supposedly for his parents get a divorce, the apartment or something. So, he got mixed up, all mixed up, don't know what to do,
Jesus Christ, dude. How did I not know all that? That's unbelievable.
It's a crazy story. So, if you want a true underdog story from somebody from really at the bottom, I mean, this guy's spending time internationally behind bars and back in the country behind bars before he gets to fight. And now he's in the UFC. So look at him. So kids at home watching, even if you get arrested with ecstasy pills and cocaine, you can still make your life something. So
yeah, one day you could be fighting for the UFC.
Right. Don't give up ever.
And Ian Olsen, winner of tonight's second T-shirt, says it's all in the name Ian. Crazy fucks. I will agree. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's just wrap the show by saying there's some other fights on the prelims. I wanna highlight one. I'll let you highlight one, maybe 2. Everyone needs to pay attention to the first fight on the early prelims: Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson. Both very young. Miranda Maverick is 23 years old. Jillian Robertson is 25, both up-and-comers. Miranda's 1-0 in the UFC, coming over from Invicta. Very exciting fighter. Jillian Robertson she trains with Dean Thomas and those guys. She has a great team. I'm gonna have her head coach on next Wednesday to talk about her performance, and then I'm gonna have Miranda Maverick on next Thursday to talk about her performance. So those two, Jillian Robertson's coming off a loss. Miranda's coming off a victory. They're both trying to make their way in the strawweight division. So I would say pay attention to that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should be good. I mean, they're both up in commerce. Robertson and Maverick both beat Pearl Gonzalez, who is a good fighter. So they've got that in common. That is neat. Also,
that is neat.
Maverick's coming off of a 7-fight win streak, and her last win, right? She wasn't she was a plus 323 underdog. And Jojua, I don't know if that's how you say it, Jojua, she was like a plus 453. Like, Maverick was supposed to lose that fight. When she came out, she was going to lose, and that was all there was to it. And she came out and she won by doctor stoppage between the first and the second round. But so she came out and really put on a nice show. She won an Invicta tournament in the past, won like 3 or 4 fights in that tournament in order to fight Pearl. So she's an up-and-comer. She'll be on the show. Is it next Thursday? Is that what you
Thursday,
said?
yeah.
So she'll be on
Yeah.
the show next Thursday. And then Jillian Robertson is a BJJ black belt out of American Top Team, and her coach is Dean Thomas, who will be on the show Wednesday. So
Yeah. And Jillian she bounced back from that UFC loss. Her last loss, she competed in one of Chael Sonnen Submission Undergrounds recently. And
nice.
she tapped Pearl Gonzalez actually in that tournament. So I mean, she didn't get back on the winning track in the UFC, but she got that loss out of her way. She went back to her roots, went into a grappling tournament, subbed somebody. She's got to be feeling good about that coming into this one. So we'll see how they both perform. Very, very exciting fight there. What do you got, Mike? Fights to watch.
Oh boy. So we were talking about this earlier. There's one fighter in particular that is hopefully going to be really good. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. His name is Rodolfo Vieira. Or Rodolfo Vieira. I don't know.
Dude,
maybe that's
built like a damn brick shit house.
Right.
Yeah,
he looks
monster.
gigantic. He's fighting Anthony Hernandez. So first of all, Anthony Hernandez, his nickname is Fluffy. Fluffy Anthony Hernandez. He's fighting the black belt hunter. That's the guy's nickname. So if anybody says they're the black belt hunter, I'm gonna stay away from that guy, because if there's a black belt, I'm gonna go the opposite way. You know what I mean? Like
right. This guy's seeking it. He's seeking him out.
He's seeking him out. He's trying to kill him.
They are his prey.
He's the predator. So
yeah.
He's supposed to be really good at jiu-jitsu, and he's a massive guy. So keep a lookout for that fight.
Right. That's the feature fight on the televised prelims on ESPN. That guy was referred to by Dana White himself as the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in all of the UFC. That's saying something, because, Damian Maia is there, Ryan Hall's there. There is some world-class, the best of the best jiu-jitsu guys out there in the UFC. And for Dana White to come out and say that the Rodolfo Vieira is the best of the best, then he's got to be something special. And I'm sorry, I don't have all the experience of watching this guy. I think I only seen him fight once in the UFC. And I know he, like head and arm triangle. I don't know what I think he choked somebody like that on the ground. If I remember it correctly, I could be wrong, but I'm excited to see that. And he's 7-0. He's 7-0. He comes out, he murks Fluffy real quick. He's 8-0. Man, maybe he starts making noise in the middleweight division. And
right.
the only other fight that I wanted to point out is Ricky Simone. Remember Ricky Simone's last fight? Mm-hmm. And I apologize I can't remember his last opponent, but I just remember Ricky Simone's last fight was a banger. And whoever he fought, do you have it up, Mike? Whoever he fought, I just remember them in the middle of the cage, just pounding the shit out of each other. And I feel like Ricky Simone made a huge stride in his career in that last fight. Looked great. And he's fighting Brian Boom Kelleher, who's always an exciting fighter. So I would look out for that one as well.
So he had fought Ray Borg 2 fights ago, and Gaetano Morello. He won by arm triangle choke.
It was the Ray Borg fight. Okay.
Ray Borg was a decision split.
Yes, the Ray Borg fight was a banger with Ricky Simone, and I wasn't much of a Ricky Simone fan up until that fight, and he won me over that night against Ray Borg. So if that Ricky Simone shows up, the one that fought Ray Borg and banged it out in the middle of the ring, and he does that with Boom Kelleher, that'll be an exciting fight.
I'm looking forward to these fights. This is a good card, so tune in and check this card out, because it is going to be a good one.
All right, my brother. You have anything else you want to say before we get going?
Oh, I mean, hey, BKFC, it's making its way up. Watch it. It is great. It was fantastic. I mean, when we were there, we saw it live. It was really, really good. And shout out to Britain Hart and her family. They were super, super thoughtful. For letting us sit there, very gracious, and that was a great experience. I can't wait to do it again. Hopefully we go and see, maybe Joey Beltran defend his title in April. I would hope for that. And we'll just keep this moving.
We'll do it. Yeah. The show's gonna keep getting better. Mike's gonna be very involved with this show now, and we're gonna just keep on growing. So we got to keep getting those subscribers up, and yeah, big things to come, man. We got a lot of things planned, so stay tuned, people.
Right, and I'm putting together a video of the Knucklemania behind the scenes and stuff. So hopefully that'll be out Saturday or Sunday. So I'm working on it. Let me be a nice video of all the stuff that happened during Knucklemania. It should be pretty funny. And there might be a little bit of swearing, so maybe rated R. I don't know.
Yeah, so don't watch it with the kids.
Don't watch it with the kids.
All right, my brother. I will see you soon.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Buddy.
Later. That was Mikey Hunold, back on the show again. Anyways, yeah, me and Mike coming off one of the best experiences of our life as a combat sports fan. I want to point out that down in the corner over here, I changed the color of the show tonight to orange because I knew that was Britain Hart's favorite color. I asked her ahead of time, so I threw a little sneak color in there for you guys, and you bunch of idiots didn't get it. Somebody did. Anyways, the winners of the T-shirts, go ahead and message me, or actually you threw it in the comments, so I'll find your sizes and everything. Yeah. So, like I was saying, Mike and I are making connections. We're going to be putting out some unbelievable content very soon. So pay attention to what we're doing. It's going to keep getting better. And like I said, next Wednesday night, I have Dean Thomas of UFC fame. He's been on the show once before, head coach of Greg Hardy, Jillian Robertson. He coached Tyron Woodley to a world title. He coached Amanda Nunes to a world title. Dean Thomas is the man. He has currently got all kinds of stuff going on. He's on ESPN radio. He's got the Dean Diaries on YouTube, on UFC Fight Pass. He has Dana White looking for a fight on YouTube. The dude is everywhere. He is busy. He is coaching, and he's going to be coming on the show next Wednesday. And also, following Dean Thomas on that same episode, I have the juggernaut himself, Lorenzo Hunt, fresh off a knockout of Rob Morrow at Knucklemania. That guy is awesome. Unbelievably entertaining person. Do not miss that episode. Wednesday, Dean Thomas, Lorenzo Hunt. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.